to record it. So first of all, it's September, and I know I've talked to a few of you guys today about this, but September is always weird in this business. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It's just like, I mean, it's weird in life, period. You know, like after Labor Day, like all the kids are back in school, and this year, like all the kids are back in COVID school, which is even weirder. And, you know, it's just this odd transition month from summer to fall. And it's just always, honestly, you guys, and I'm just going to be straight up, it's like a hard month in my business. I always hit Success Club. I'm not saying this to brag, but like I had to tell Melanie this week, like how many months I'd been in Success Club, and I've been in Success Club 73 months. And so like in a row. So like, I just was thinking about that. Not that that was like, oh, Rachel, you're great. It just was like, oh, that's possible. You know, you're never going to run out of people to talk to. You're never going to run out of people to help. You're never going to run out of new people to connect with, to friends, any of that stuff, you guys. So like, I want you to know that if I can do it, then you can do it. All right. So that was just encouraging to me to share with you guys. And so, but September is an awkward month, and it just means that it doesn't mean we have to work more. I don't want you to hear that. It does not mean we have to work more. It just means we have to be a little bit more focused. And honestly, it's always been a good time as we move into the holidays to really hone in on what is my story. Like in the past, when things got busy, when the kids were demanding, when there was a lot going on, as we inched closer to the holidays, what was my mindset? Like of, okay, I'm just going to take a break and I'll get back into eating clean and taking care of myself New Year's, right? Honestly, this was about the time I made that decision. Like, I'm just going to slack off. I'm going to eat the s'mores. I'm going to eat the hamburgers and hot dogs at the ball games. I'm going to eat whatever I want to. We have a lot of birthdays in the fall. And I was just like, I'll get back to it in January. And that's not me anymore. Like, that's not me anymore. I know that every single day is a choice to show up for myself. And every single day there's a woman out there who's making the same decision. Okay. Making the same decision that I was making all those years ago and that I'm still making today. And so I know that me showing up is very important, not only for my job, but also for the influence that I get to have on somebody who needs to hear my story. And Sonia, you know, we were talking about this earlier this week, or maybe it was last week, how somebody messaged you, you know, and they were like, I got up and I did something today because I knew you were going to be up, right? And I remember, I'll never forget, like God always sent me a message from somebody right when I needed to hear it, right when I needed to hear it. And it didn't necessarily turn into a challenge pack sale, but it just confirmed that I was supposed to continue showing up. And so this is like a season where it gets crazy and hard for everybody. So I really want to challenge you guys, like dig into your story, be intentional in what you talk about. You know, share tips for camping. You know, Sonia, I know you like to go camping. Share tips for camping when you go out. Share tips for like those days that you lack the motivation. Share tips for, you know, what to put in your kids' lunch boxes. Think about the season, think about your own struggles, and make that your message to the world, and don't back down from this thing that God has called you to do, because it is a calling, no doubt, you guys, okay? So let me find my slides, and I have a little bit more to say on that, but let's see, let me find it first. Okay. Did I hit record? I think I did. Okay. So obviously, that is another reason I put these in here, because I shared these in our team page last week. I know I shared them with our new coaches. I even like am using these myself a little bit, because I feel like when life gets crazy, like it is right now, it's crazy for me with homeschooling, with, you know, like going on this trip, with, you know, just, I mean, I still work, I still teach at ICC 2 days a week. Like, honestly, that's my like smoothest day because I'm all by myself. But like I forget, you know, I forget to trigger my brain and think about things that I need to post about. So I hope you guys are using this. Like, this is a killer guide to what you should be posting or what you can be posting about. It gives you so many tips and ideas to vary your content. It's all something that you can make your own, and it all adds value, and it all causes you to level up, which is what this entire business is about. It's about getting outside your comfort zone, sharing, adding value, and doing things, honestly, that scare you, like making a reel on Instagram, right? I've been doing those every day because Brock Johnson said you should, and he's right. But it, like, I feel stupid. Like, I felt so stupid after the one I made today, but I knew it added value and I knew it helped somebody. So I just did it, right? So definitely use this. If you're coming up short, if you're coming up, dry on what to post, on what to say, on what to share, this is such a good document. And I didn't make it. I'm not taking credit for this. Somebody else made it. I totally swiped it from another coach who shared it. So, but I think it's fantastic. And if I'd had something like this when I was a brand new coach, then I feel like I would have had so much more confidence in what I was doing. And it's yours for free. So use it. All right. So use it. And if you guys have any questions or concerns while I go through this, or you want to ask me something, please don't hesitate to stop me. But it is September. Like, I'm not going to go through all the announcements. I post announcements in our team page. And I email you guys every week. So make sure you go in there and you check. But I really want to get to the heart of the matter tonight, because I remember being a brand new coach and having no customers, or having like a few, and I was putting them in Melanie Mitro's challenge group, and I was so scared. I was scared of everything I've done in this business, you guys. Like, I was scared to make my coach announcement. I was scared to post sweaty selfies. I was scared to invite people. Like, I was scared of all of it. I promise you that. You don't look at me today and think it's always been easy for Rachel, because I was the most, like, I was not confident in this business, and it took me years before I was confident, but I just kept showing up to do it. And so one of the things that really scared me as I was inviting, as I was posting, as I was going through conversations, whoa, crap, what do I do if I actually get a customer? Like, what do I do with them? Like, I don't want to leave Melanie's challenge group. I don't know how to run a challenge group. I don't know how to post what she posts or encourage how she encourages. But it is just something, honestly, you guys, that you just do it scared. And we have resources. I'm going to share resources and tips for you. But our job in this business is to actually take care of our customers, right? But I don't want to just tell you how to run good challenge groups. I want you to see the purpose and the value that you have to add to somebody's life. But it's also about customer retention, because we are business owners. We are business owners. And yes, you're going to have people who cancel their Shakeology. Yes, you're going to have coaches who cancel their accounts. Yes, those things are going to happen. So expect it. But we are business owners. And the way that we earn an income is by selling challenge packs, by creating loyal customers, by recruiting coaches and teaching them to do the same thing. All right. And it is work, but like, I want you guys to see this as part of your daily work, caring for your customers, doing some things. And you're not going to do all the things all at once, but you're going to start to implement these things, and you will see success in your business. All right. So our number one goal as a coach, you guys, our number one goal, aside from like taking care of yourself, making sure you're the healthiest that you can be by making your body and your faith a priority, is to serve others in health and fitness. All right. So that's our job as a coach. I don't care what your transformation looks like today. I don't care if you don't have a transformation. I don't care if you still have like so much weight to lose. Like, it doesn't matter. Our goal is to serve people through health and fitness, and it starts with us. It starts with us, and us saying, I need to do this for myself, to be a good example for my family, to be a good steward of what God has given me. That's our focus. And we do that through posting on social media. You guys are all doing that. Posting on social media, sharing value, sharing your story, giving tips, and inviting people to join you. And then, we also have options to run free groups. You guys can definitely do that. I would not encourage you to do that unless you're at Success Club already. But free groups are a good way to add value. Challenge groups, that is really and truly like the heart and soul of our business. We share our story. We get 3 people every single month to join our challenge groups, and we serve them there. And you are going to have this cumulative effect every month. If you hit Success Club, you're bringing 3 new people into your groups, right? They're not all going to stay active. There's just human nature. People are going to give up on themselves. But you know, if you are growing your challenge groups, you're growing your community there. All right. We serve people through our teams, and then obviously, like, some other things are like you can create free things where you send out free emails, free tips that you do through emails and things like that. But at the center is our challenge groups, and these people, these women, should be the focus of our business. And this is really important, you guys. And this is not to discourage you. This is just so you have this truth and this in your head. The average customer stays on Shakeology for 4 months. All right, the average customer. That means some people stay on less than that. Some people stay on much longer than that. I mean, I've been a coach for 6 years, and I have lots of people who've been on Shakeology for a long time. But I also, the ratio of people who've signed up with me to who stay on this product is, you know, the people who quit, honestly, is much higher than the people who stay on it. But really and truly, you just need those 3 people a month, and you need a working coach every 1 to 2 every quarter, who actually works the business to see growth in this business. I don't hit SC 100. I don't recruit 10 coaches a month. I hit SC 20 average consistently, and that's now. That was not in the beginning, okay? And I recruit like 3 to 5 coaches a month. So I'm not like doing huge numbers, but just even with those numbers, I'm still growing in income. I'm growing a successful business. But the average customer does stay on Shakeology about 4 months. So that is there to tell you that, you know, just expect that not everybody's going to stay on it, but it is a fantastic product. It is an incredible product. I would not be a coach if I didn't believe in this product. And I want you to have that belief in it yourself because you stay on it and you love it. All right. So our basic goals, we've talked about what our number one goal as a coach is. Our basic goals each month should be to bring 3 new people into your boot camp. You know, you're going to create a marketing plan. I share mine with you each month. Implement it, invite to your challenge group or our challenge group right now, and you will hit this goal. If you're doing your business activity tracker every day, you're going to hit this goal. If you're plugged into your training and you're doing the things and you're active participant in your trainings, you're going to hit this goal. Convert customers to coaches. We'll talk about that later. That's not really the focus of our call. Recruit working coaches and serve the people that you have. So these are just your basic goals every month in order to grow a business. Tonight, we are going to talk about running challenge groups, okay? Let's see. I thought I had a different one. Let's see, maybe it's for later on. Okay. Tonight we're going to talk about challengers, right? Because finding customers, recruiting customers, hitting Success Club, like marketing, that's a whole different call. Tonight, so many of you guys asked me about running good challenge groups, and that is what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. So let me walk you through when somebody signs up with me, you know, they've followed me for a while, you know, I've started a conversation, I've built that relationship with them, I've converted the conversation into an invite to my challenge groups, we've gone through the whole thing, and boom, they bought their challenge pack, right? What happens after they buy their challenge pack? And I've been through many different processes of tracking and you know, building that relationship after they're a challenger. But today, after lots of trial and error, this is what works for me. So whenever I see their order go through, and I do not do this until I see their order go through, okay? I do not count them as a customer until they've purchased, unless, you know, obviously if they do like a free trial or something, but I only add people to my challenge groups who have purchased a challenge pack, all right? So when they purchase the challenge pack, they have a sign up email from me, and it just says, hey, and I can share all these examples with you. You guys actually all got them if you're my personally sponsored coach or customer, but it just says, hey, I'm so glad you decided to invest in yourself. I'm here to serve you. We're going to go through this prep week. Like, it kind of gives them an idea of what's going to happen. And I have examples of these again. Then they get an invite to the challenge group. Now we do broad groups. I used to run them all through Facebook, and I would just send them a link to the group, but now they are invited through by groups, right? And so they get the request to join that group, and they join, and they're automatically a customer. They can start logging their workouts. They won't get their shakes right away. I tell them that, but when they get them, they can start logging their shakes, and I start to walk them through how to get ready to honestly just crush it. Just crush it. So I used to run a new challenge group every single month, and I would start it over and I would shift people from group to group. I would do a prep week over every time. And that got a little tedious and it got a little old, especially for my customers who did stick with me a long time. And so now I just have typically one ongoing challenge group in buy groups. It's called the Full Life Project. And everybody goes into there who is a customer of mine. Now, I don't run prep weeks anymore, really, unless it's like the launch of a new program. But my customers get a prep week in emails. Okay, so I have an automated system through Flowdesk, and whenever I created it once. And whenever they sign up, I boom, put their email in, it automatically sends them emails. Now, if you don't have Flowdesk or right now you don't have time to figure that out, honestly, one of the easiest things you could do is to create a prep week group in Facebook. And so you post the like 6 or 7 posts for like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. It takes them through like mindset, before pictures, before measurements, meal planning, things like that. Pick in your program, and you can actually just create a group once. And every time you have somebody sign up, you add them to that group. You say, hey, go through the prep week tasks. When you're finished, let me know and I'll add you to our challenge group. All right. But what you want to do is you want to set them up for success. And you can do that through a group. You can do that through emails. It does not matter, but choose how you're going to do it. Automate it. So you don't have to do it every single time somebody joins a group. It's a recurring resource that you use over and over. And again, I have posts. If you want to set up the Facebook group, I have posts that you can put in there. You don't have to recreate anything. But just make sure that you're helping them get started successfully. Another thing I love to do, if a challenger chooses to do it with me, in that first email that I send them, I tell them, hey, let's set up a one-on-one call. Let's talk about, like, I show them how to use Beachbody On Demand. I show them the nutrition resources. I show them the workouts. I ask them what their goals are. I pray with them. And so if somebody does that one-on-one call with me, honestly, in the beginning, they're typically going to be a challenger for a long time with me because they've met me. I've instilled that trust in them. They know that if they have questions, they can ask me. They know that they're not just a number on a board for me, but I want to make time for you to help you get success. Okay. So that's something I love to do as well. And another thing, just like I tell you guys to track your conversations before people become a customer, after someone signs up with me, I still track them. Okay. What does that mean? I track whenever I have that first, whenever they sign up, I log it in my tracker and I set a reminder so that I either in my phone or, I used to flip through my calendar and I would write like a week from now, check in on Sonia. She signed up. Has she picked her program out, right? I use Teamsy for this, but you can use whatever you want to. But just make sure, like I was working through my tracker, my to-do list today, and I had a lot of customers that I had reminded myself that, hey, I need to ask her how her workout's going. She was struggling with this last time I talked to her. I need to ask her how that's going, right? So make sure that even after, especially after they sign up with you, you're still tracking them and you're tuned into what their goals are and you're checking in with them regularly. And you guys, I'll be honest, just like I have people that I talk to that I'm invited to a challenge group who I've followed up with them like 4 times and they've never responded. I just honestly set a reminder to check in with them a few months from now. If I have challengers that join and they never log in the challenge group, they never respond to my emails, they never respond to my messages, and it happens. If that happens, I'll follow up with them a few times, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time like chasing them down. They know I'm here. They know I'm here to support them. They have the tools to do what they need to do. And so I'm just going to set a reminder to follow up with them in a few months. And honestly, they get a weekly email from me anyways, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So this is how I onboard them. They get a sign up email. They get some prep week information. I add them to my challenge group. I offer the one-on-one call, and then I do follow up with them throughout the next month or so. And here's the thing. This is where I should have put this slide before, but all of this, just like anything that you do in coaching, takes practice. Like it takes practice. It takes practice to start posting. It takes practice to start inviting. It takes practice to start onboarding. It takes practice to run good challenge groups. So don't feel discouraged if you're like a few months in or you're 6 months in and you have a dead challenge group. Like you guys, like I had so many dead challenge groups and sometimes I feel like they still get a little bit dead. But you have been called to do this for a reason. And you have gifts that you don't even know you have yet when it comes to challenge groups. You just have to trust that they're there and God's going to make good on them, right? But one of the things that I do every single day is I have these affirmations, okay? And I used to think affirmations were stupid. I thought they were silly. I thought they were secular. But I also, now that I see them and I connect them with scripture, like this fuels my fire, even on those days when I don't feel confident about this. And this first one I have it written on a board and I say it every single day. I say it every single day. And it says, I will remain focused even if I have a moment of difficulty. I will not give up. I will make it, because God has called me to make an impact and be the example. All right. And this absolutely applies to my challenge groups. This absolutely applies to how I show up for my people. All right. And I just put this one in here for you guys. Like if you're struggling with this part or this doubt when it comes to your challenge groups, tell yourself, I run amazing challenge groups because I'm consistent in showing up for myself and these women that God have given me to serve. All right. So make sure that you are speaking belief into what you are doing every single day so you do not get discouraged. So I talked about tracking. I talked about tracking my challengers. And I use Teamzy. This image on the left is an example of Teamzy. I pay for Teamzy. It is like a Beachbody coach created it. It's $29 a month. Actually, it's $19 a month for Beachbody coaches. I've used it to track my conversations before they sign up, but I also use it to track my customers once they sign up. And you do not have to pay for this. You can absolutely do this in like Google Streak. You can do it in a notebook. You could do it in a Google Sheet, like an Excel spreadsheet. I like it because it works visually for the way that my mind works. But the main point that I want you to know is that I still keep up with people after they sign up with me. I don't just sign them up and put them in a group and run away, right? So this is an example of somebody who signed up with me a couple of months ago. This is my record of how I've kept up with her down at the bottom under my activity feed. So, like she signed up a couple of months ago. I texted her a couple of times. She got her shakes. Like I wrote down that try them today, offer the coach discount next week. I invited her for the discount on my shakes. And then there's some other messages that I sent. But I have a reminder. You can see like I'm following up with her like once a week. Because if I don't, you guys, like I'll forget. If she doesn't show up in the challenge group and I don't hear from her, I'll forget. And I don't want to forget about her. I mean, that's honestly just the way I am. Like I'm a very forgetful person. And I need reminders of things. This other thing here on the right is it's a screenshot from my Flowdesk. Flowdesk is an email campaign. Again, I pay for it. You don't have to yet, but at some point you're going to have to invest in things like this for your business. And so I make customer email lists. And so like I have this one for Sunday customer emails. So one of the things I do is I email my customers on Sunday and I share some encouragement or a tip or whatever, but I also share the Google form where they check in with me. And I email that to you guys too. So if you haven't gotten it, if you didn't get it last Sunday, it's because it's in your junk mail. But I want to provide that one-on-one check-in with my challengers each week. I have a new customer prep week. I have one that's for, I have lots of different ones. Don't let that overwhelm you. But I basically pull all my people together so that I can communicate with them quickly. So all I have to do is create one email, send it to this list, and everybody gets it. All right. That's how I send my weekly emails as well. So how do I communicate with my customers on a regular basis? This was something you guys asked me, like what's an easy way to communicate with people quickly and frequently? And honestly, the easiest way is email. I mean, obviously we're running challenge groups. They have a whole challenge group where you pour into them every single day. But I find that people still crave and want that one-on-one conversation and contact. And I am not going to sit here and email one-on-one or text one-on-one somebody, I mean, like everybody every single day. I do have a very large customer base. And I can't like just have that like one-on-one conversation with everybody every single day, but I can communicate with them regularly and give them the opportunity to respond back to me. So I do that every single week. I post in my challenge groups. If somebody posts in my challenge group, it is not going to get overlooked by me. I go in there, I am a challenger myself, and every single day, a couple of times a day, I spend 10, 15 minutes like checking in with my challengers. If they post, I respond to it. If they log their Shakeology, I'm going to comment on it. If they ask a question, I'm there. If they log their nightly nutrition check-ins, I'm going to respond to it. I don't let a challenger post go unnoticed, okay? And that is something that is very important. That is something that I won't pay somebody to respond to my challengers. A lot of coaches do that. They have an assistant and they go in there every day. I can't do that. Like, I am there to be their coach. I'm there to be their friend. I'm there to be their mentor. And it is very important to me that I'm taking that time in my challenge groups daily to interact with people who are showing up, okay? Especially to interact with people who are showing up. Because you think about, if you have a conversation with somebody and they never respond to you, you're going to quit conversing with them, right? And so it's just the same thing. If I stop engaging with my challengers, then they're going to stop showing up and posting and logging their workouts and their shakes. If they stop logging their workouts and their shakes, they're going to stop working out. They're going to stop drinking their shakes, which is going to hurt my business too. But they're going to stop getting results. And so that interaction in my challenge group is very, very important. I can't tell you how many customers are in my challenge group, and I don't know who they are. Some other coach signed them up and they're not supporting them. And it just does not work that way. All right. So challenge group interaction is important. And you being a challenger in your challenge group, you logging your workout, you logging your shake goes so far in encouraging other people to do that. I can't tell you how important your example is to other people. Reach out to silent challengers. Now, in our new Buy Groups app, we don't have this feature, but they told me today they were going to get it by the end of the summer, which it feels like it's the end of the summer. Maybe they said the end of September. But in the My Challenge Tracker app, you could actually go into your challenger list and see who had logged and filter it out by who had not. And so I would send a weekly message to people who hadn't logged anything in my group and just say, hey, how you doing? What's up? You know, I haven't seen you active in there in a while. Tell me what's going on, right? But we should have that feature again. So that's what I mean when you reach out to silent challengers. If you have 3 customers and one person is logging in your group, then you know who the other 2 are that aren't, right? So just I send them a weekly message, just say, hey, I'm here, I'm checking in on you, tell me what's going on, right? So definitely, you know, you guys, like, being responsible for those people who don't show up. And you can't make people do it. You can't take it personal when they don't do it, and you can't make people do it. But we can be there to be a voice of encouragement, right? I also send out weekly emails. Again, this is one email, goes to everybody. Everybody gets the same email. Everybody gets the same check-in. I'm not doing more work. I'm just doing it smarter. And so this image on the left is my weekly check-in form. I send it to you guys too. If you're my coach, you're my customer. And I send it to you to check in with me as well. Listen to this. Listen to this. Please hear me. I sent it out to over 700 people on Sunday. Do you know how many I got back? Like 10. 10 people checked in with me through this Google form this week. All right. I'm not saying that because I'm mad or angry or discouraged. I'm just saying the number of people who are actively going to check in with you each week may be small, but even if it's one person, then I helped people. All right. Then I helped someone who needed that accountability. So I do it without fail every week. That's one way that I do that. I also have publicized this out beside it because you will be shocked. You would be shocked. Whenever I post, like I sent this email out on Sunday with the Google form, I maybe got 5 back. Okay, so I probably lied. I got more than 10. I probably got like 15 back. I sent it out on Sunday. Maybe 5 people responded on Sunday. But when I talked about it in my stories on Monday, I talked about the fact that I'd sent out a customer email with your weekly check-in. I said, check your email. Like, as soon as I posted that on social media, immediately I got like 8 more. Because people don't think about it. They don't think about checking for that email from Rachel every week. But when I talk about these kind of things on social media, it reminds my customers, hey, Rachel sent me an email. I need to respond to that. Or, hey, Rachel posted in our challenge group. I need to go check in, right? So it's just kind of like, that's a good tip for you guys. When you send a customer email with a meal plan each week, talk about it in your stories, not just to toot your own horn, but to remind your challengers who watch your stories and follow you that they need to go check that email. All right. I also send one-on-one messages. So that's one of the things on my daily to-do list is maybe I message like 3 people individually. And I just keep up with who my challengers are, who signed up with a challenge pack in the last 6 months. And I go through and I send them a message saying, hey, how you doing? And just checking in and see how I can help you, right? I'm not messaging 100 people a day. I'm sending like 2, 3 private messages to my customers. And definitely, like I said before, I always track this. I set reminders for who I need to check in with, who I need to follow up with. All right. Do you guys have any questions about how I onboard and how I track? And don't let this overwhelm you. Like, I'm going to give you these slides. You're going to move into this slowly. I didn't start doing all the things all at once. It was a like month by month slow growth. I definitely grew very slowly. So I wasn't doing all these things in the beginning, but this is what I do now. When it comes to your challenge groups, oh, who all has dead challenge groups? I know that I had dead challenge groups, quite honestly, for like a year. I mean, no, I don't mean like it was always dead, but I had a lot of challenge groups that fizzled out like by day 30. And so I always ran 30-day challenge groups. I would start with a week of prep. We would go 30 days after that. And people were always excited at the beginning. And then by like day 20, it was so silent. And you guys, you just have to think that's just human nature. We all start things, we all get excited about things, and we all fizzle out after like week 1. And I even talked about that in my challenge groups. I would say, all right, week 1, week 2, you probably were excited when you started, but who's still with us now, right? So it's just kind of the nature of the beast. You see my challenge groups now, and they're pretty active, but if you look, it's the same 20, 30 people out of like 150 people who are posting and who are engaging. Those other people are watching. They may be doing their workouts. They may be drinking their shake. They're just not that active challenger. And so it's okay. Please just know that it's okay, and it's going to happen sometimes. But some tips for engaging with people in your challenge groups. I'm talking about in your challenge groups. Always, never, ever, ever neglect being a challenger yourself. I see so many coaches who run challenge groups and they post in them every day, but they never log their workout and they never log their shake, right? And they never comment on the nightly nutrition things. But if you're doing that, if you're being a challenger, you're setting that example for your customers to show up to. And we know, you guys, when we take advantage of the accountability that we have been given, then we're much more likely to stay consistent ourselves, right? So, if they are dead, you could do some fun things like a Friday fun, like random facts about yourself, or do like a weekly water challenge or something like that, just to get people to engage. And you could offer like incentives or fun giveaways just to get people to be active. But honestly, sometimes even when you do that, like they're not going to be. And I'll tell you, this may sound a little weird, but like, it took me a while, just like it sometimes takes a while to find your coaches, to find your team, to find your tribe. I feel like there's that same thing with our challenge groups. It took me a while before I found my people who related to me really well and who engaged with me really well. So, don't be discouraged. Like I said, I can't tell you how many challenge groups were dead, but I just kept showing up. I posted every day. I logged my workout every day. I logged my Shakeology every day, even if I was the only person in there doing it. All right. So again, it just takes practice. It takes time, and it takes consistency. Definitely message people who are not showing up. Just check on them. Say, hey, I'm here for you. But also, again, just like I said, to go public about the information you're sending out to your challengers. show in your challenge, in your stories or in your posts, like how you're logging into your challenge groups. And it's going to remind your challengers, hey, I need to go log my workout. I need to go log my shake. Okay. Or Rachel's checking into the challenge group and I didn't post today. Right. It's just this extra level of accountability that reminds your challengers that, hey, you have this resource. I use it myself. And if I need to use it, then you probably need to use it. So that is something I do at least once or twice a week. I show in my social media that I'm actually logging my workout. I'm logging my shake or something like that. As far as content, when I asked you guys about what you needed help with as far as challenge groups, this was one of the #1 questions that I got from you guys. Is what do I post in my challenge group? Like, how do I find good information? You know, how do I post and add value, but it not be repetitive, things like that. So I'll tell you, I've been a coach for 6 years, for 5 years. I pretty much created my own content. All right. Now, in the beginning, like my coach had like a general challenge group guide. Beachbody has tons of challenge group guides. If you don't know where to find those, I can show you, but they're in your Coach Online office. But they're all very general, right? I am a faith and fitness coach. I want my challenge groups to be rooted in Christ, rooted in Scripture. And so what I did was I took those general challenge groups and I added my own content. So I did do the work. And I have like a general, it's a faith-based challenge group guide that I've used just with bits and pieces of my stuff over the years that you can use for your own. But here, I don't want you to overthink it. I think that any value that you add to your challengers is going to be helpful. They have the workouts, so you're not having to create workouts. They have the nutrition plans. You're not having to tell them, you know, exactly what to do. If they utilize what they purchased, then they have what they need to be successful in the fitness, the physical realm. I feel like our job is to share tips often, but also encourage them in scripture, encourage them in the faith aspect of it. And so I can share a water tip, but I can also say, you know, share scripture that spoke to me that morning in my quiet time, or scripture from one of these books that I love to read about faith and fitness, right? Now, I will tell you, I pay the challenge groups that you see, the content that you see me have now. I pay for it from a company called Mompreneur, but I add my own spin to it. So every week, I go in and I schedule out my challenge group content, but I'm also adding to or taking away from their content because some of it can be very worldly or secular. And I just make sure I read the posts, I read the content, take out what I want to take out, and add what I want to add to it. All right. So I'm not creating everything, but I am going over it every week. I'm planning it, I'm scheduling it, and I am adding the part that I feel like is what God has led me to share, which is He cares about your body. So, you know, you don't have to come up with all this content for your challenge group. Honestly, you can be in my challenge group and copy my posts. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I mean, what's mine is yours. I want you to be yourself for sure. And I want you to speak like you're yourself. So if I say something that you wouldn't say, then just change it a little bit. But you can use my images. You can use my wording, whatever you want to use. Like, what's mine is yours. You are not starting over from scratch. But like I said, here I said, deliver on what you promised. I can't promote a faith and fitness challenge group and never talk about God. I can't promote a faith and fitness challenge group and never share scripture. I can't, you know, promote like you got to do the hard work, but never tell them in the challenge group, okay, you know, this is what's hard for me today, and this is how I'm showing up. So definitely deliver on what you promised. And you guys are all women of integrity. I'm not fearful that you wouldn't, but just be consistent with your message and then be consistent with what you provide in your challenge groups. And I just kind of like broke this down because I know a lot of people and a lot of coaches were like, I just don't know what to post, you know. And this was just quickly, I brain dumped for you guys. Like, you could do Monday motivation, where you have like a motivational quote or scripture or something to encourage people throughout the week in the challenge group. You could do like a Truth Tuesday, where you share a lie and you replace it with truth, use scripture to back that up. What I ate Wednesday, just challenge everybody, hey, show me exactly what you eat today. Take a picture of every meal and post it at the end of the day. Thirsty Thursday, you could do like a water tip, or here's how to flavor your water, or this is what drinking more water does for your body. Faith at Friday, you can have everybody share their favorite scripture that's motivating them. Saturday meal prep tips, Sunday, reflect and plan. Okay. So, those can be some themes for your challenge group if you just need a jumping off point or you need a place to start. Again, don't overthink it. You're there to be an accountability partner for these people. You're there to provide a place to check in. You are there to encourage and inspire with your own story, just like you are even before they join your challenge group. Another question I got was, what are some good resources for coming up with content for your challenge groups? These are my favorite books that I have invested in, that I have read over the years. I'm not saying go read all these books right now, but in my own personal education, my own personal growth, my own personal struggles with food and with fitness and incorporating my faith, these are books that have helped me. It starts with food. That is the Whole30 chick. I can't remember her name, Melissa something, and I didn't write it on here, sorry. But It Starts With Food is a good book about understanding food and what it does to your body, all right? I listen to these books on Audible more than anything, honestly, but I do have the physical books too to reference. And I'm often using just facts, information in my challenge groups as I learn for myself. So again, it goes back to you're a challenger, you're educating yourself, you're growing, you're changing yourself, and then therefore you have content to share with your challengers. Super Life by Darren O'Leen. He's one of the co-creators of Shakeology. He has a book called Super Life. It's really good. Made to Crave by Lisa TerKeurst. My challenge groups as a brand new coach had a devotion every single day because I bought this book is worn and tattered. God has used it greatly in my life. I bought the book that had the book and the devotional. So when I was a brand new coach, do you know what I did? I took Melanie Mitro's posts, her content, which was secular, and it had to do with just like fitness and stuff. And I added the devotional every single day. It was a 30-day devotional. I just copied the devotional from the book, or I copied the scripture, and I told my story with it. All right. So that's how I ran my first challenge groups. And honestly, if you go use my 30-day general challenge group guide, it has a lot of that in it. So, it wasn't me coming in having all the words and having all the wisdom. I totally took what I was reading for myself and put it into my challenge groups. Full by Asherita. I'll never know how to say her name, but you guys know what book I'm talking about. It's called Full. It's just it wrecked my world more than Made to Crave did, quite honestly. She's very truthful, has a lot of good content in there. Atomic Habits and The Slight Edge are not faith-based books, but they have a lot of information, a lot of value, a lot of inspiration about how to be consistent in anything that you do. And so honestly, The Slight Edge, if you go back to when I was a brand new coach, almost every single one of my posts on my public Facebook feed was inspired by that book. So, there's a lot of value there if you're looking for inspiration for what to put into your challenge groups. And I also encourage my customers to buy those books too and read them themselves. Another thing I do to promote activity, to promote engagement, is I recognize people a lot. If somebody signs up for my challenge group, I shout them out in my stories. If somebody texts me and says, "Hey, Rachel, I lost 6 pounds," or, I did, "Sonia, I can shout you out today because you did 2 extra AMRAPs, 2 3/4, I think is what it was." Those are big things that they may seem small to somebody, but it's big to the person that I get to serve. And if I recognize them publicly, that just encourages them even more. So recognition is huge. It's actually one of the 4 vital behaviors on your tracker. Okay. So make sure that you're recognizing people. If I have loyal Shakeology customers, you guys, if you stay on Shakeology consecutively, every year you get a prize from Beachbody. If somebody gets that in the mail, I'll shout them out in my stories, right? If somebody tries a new product and they love it, or if somebody refers someone else, there are lots of ways that I actually recognize people who are coming into my challenge groups, who are consistent, who are showing up, and who are loyal. So that's a good tip. Whenever you get people like that, make sure you're shouting people out every day in your challenge groups. And you know what? I mean, in your public stories. But you know what? Even if you don't have your own customers yet, shout out a coach. Shout out somebody else in our challenge group who inspires you. Shout out somebody who shares a victory. It doesn't have to be your own personal customer just yet. Let's see. And then this is kind of a topic for another day, but if you want loyal customers who stay loyal to Beachbody and they try new things and generate new volume, new income, you have to be doing it yourself. So if you've been a coach for 2 years and you've only ever tried Shakeology, like, it's time to try some other things and talk about them. Because I tell you, every time I post about my recover in my challenge group, I have a challenger who asks me about it. If I put collagen in my coffee, I have a challenger who asks me about it. If my kids drink or eat beach bars, which they love, I have a challenger who asks me about it. So just being consistent in trying new things. You don't have to love everything. You don't have to use everything, but trying new things and sharing it in your challenge groups and talking about it publicly, your customers will do it too. And it does generate volume, which generates massive income. All right. This is another thing I do just really quickly. Whenever we have a new launch, I always commit to I say always. I didn't finish bar. I didn't do size. I tried. I didn't do country heat, but I typically try the workout program. I commit to it. Because what happens to you guys is when your customers get excited about new launches, they invest in it. When they invest in it and you run like a launch group, like I'm doing with MBF, it's more active and you get people who have transformations, and it just creates this excitement around the program. And when people get results, that's stuff you can share. And often, honestly, you guys, those people become coaches who end up growing a business too. So create excitement with new launches. Like, we'll do that 30-day breakaway, and Autumn has a new one coming out in January. Like, if I was you, I would commit to those, do them, share your results. We can run a test group, you can run a test group, and that creates excitement too. All right, so this is the last one. I wanted to share some truths with you guys. You will have dead challenge groups, all right? You will have dead challenge groups. It's just a part of it. And you stick with it, you won't have dead challenge groups anymore, but you will have those groups where nobody shows up. You will want to quit when other people quit. When you see those coach cancellations, or you see that Sally delayed her Shakeology, which you can see now, that will discourage you. But it is okay. It is okay. It just means that, that's why we bring new people in every month. That's why we have new challengers every month. And also, too, hear this. I can guarantee you that probably like 75% of the people that cancel their Shakeology or quit on me, not on me, they're quitting on themselves, not on me, but like, they come back because I stay consistent. They come back. Like, honestly, I've hit Success Club 6 this month already. And 2 of the people were people who've been customers of mine before, but they had quit. And they came back because I stayed consistent in my challenge groups and on social media. So there's power in your own consistency. And even if you have a dead challenge group, there's somebody in there watching you. This is what you don't get. There's somebody in there watching you log your lone Shakeology, watching you log your lone workout. There's somebody in there that needs your consistency because they don't have it for themselves yet. All right. So remember that. And I love this verse, Galatians 6:9, that fuels everything that I do in my business. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And I am proof for you today that works, that is truth. I am the proof. Melanie Mitro was the proof for me when I was a brand new coach and I doubted it. I'm the proof for you, and you will be the proof for somebody else someday that this works if you just stick with it. All right. So that's my tips. That's my education. Laurel had to go. I know she had to go to bed. So do you guys have any questions for me on any of that when it comes to running challenge groups, or anything really? I don't care. It could be anything. Did that help? Like, give you ideas?
I do have a quick question.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the new launches and starting the test groups and going through that with your customers.
Yeah.
What if there's a new launch that you're not really interested in?
That's a good question.
Like, I'm going to be honest. I'm not a runner.
Okay.
I have a hard time running. I'm not sure if I really want to do that 30-day breakaway myself, but I might have customers that are really into it. So do I go ahead and do a test group? Do I do a separate challenge group? Like, what do I do?
Here's what you do. First of all, you do the sample workout. So the sample workout's going to come out on the 14th. Is that the day we come back? Yeah. It's going to come out that day. So you do it, and you're like, you make a post, you do a story, whatever. And you say, I'm not a runner. I'm not excited about this, but I'm going to try it because I've committed to trying new things. And I might inspire somebody else who wants to start running, right? I mean, it's okay. Like y'all, I did size. I tried Country Heat. I even tried bar, which was not horrible, but it just wasn't for me. But I committed to at least do the sample, to post about it. And then, like I will run. I just use the same launch group over and over. So that group that I did for MBF, I'll just change the image. I'll change all that stuff, and I'll start to promote 30-day breakaway. But also, if you've noticed, I kind of teased it a little bit. Like in that group, I shared that we had the sample workout. I shared an image, and I was kind of honestly gauging who might be interested. So that's something you could do, is in your challenge group or even in your weekly email to your customers, say, hey, I'm thinking about trying this. Would anybody want to do it with me? Like, have you wanted to run? We could commit to 30 days together. Just kind of gauge your interest, because I'll tell you, the majority of people, now MBF was a little different, but it was a big launch, really. The majority of people that do launch groups with me are people who are already my customers. Okay. So they've bought into Beachbody. They bought into the fact that these things work. They get excited about the trainers and new programs. So I'm honestly I'm marketing it to my current customers than anybody. Okay. So I would definitely gauge interest. Maybe you do some stories. Like, I've never been a runner, but I'm thinking about running for 30 days. Are you a runner? You do a poll in your stories, and engage your interest. Now, like, I did not run a test group for these programs I was not excited about. I'm not going to commit to something I know I don't want to do. Okay. But I'm going to offer it to my customers. I'm going to offer it to my clients. Right. So, like the 30-day breakaway will not be a big launch for me like it was for MBF, but I'm still going to offer it to people. And Abby and I were talking about that this week. She's like, I don't run, Rachel. She's like, I don't run. I'm not going to really like do a launch group, but I'm going to email my customers about it, So yeah, that's a good question. But I wouldn't ignore launches either. Like, even if it's something you don't love, like, don't ignore it. Just figure out, what can I do with this? Because somebody might need it.
Thank you. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
You're welcome. Okay. Anything else, you guys? It is 9 o'clock. Oh, and this is another thing. Like, I've got my 40 family strong thing. Like, I keep it in front of me, because that really motivates me. Like, and I'm telling you, 40 people between now and 2021, just given the holidays and stuff, might be a stretch for me. But it's a focus, it's a goal that I have. So, in the same way that you plan out goals for your business, like Success Club, maybe plan out a goal for your challenge group this week. Or challengers, I'm going to message 5 people this week, or I'm going to share my meal plan this week. I haven't done that in a while, just set goals for how you'll serve people too. All right. All right, you guys. Sonia, do you need help with anything?
I think I'm okay right now.
If you need help converting those conversations to customers, like, please don't hesitate. Okay.
Okay.
And I hope you have a much better day tomorrow. Do you work tomorrow?
I do.
Do y'all hear my cat? He's a freak. He sounds like a child. It freaks me out.
Mine does that. It calls me mama.
He says Milo. I swear he says Milo.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. I know he's not saying Milo, but that's what it sounds like. It's really weird.
It does. I understand.
All right, you guys. Well, I hope you have a good week, and I will see you guys next week. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.